What's going on, guys? Welcome to another CDLB side. And as you can see, I'm in the break room. Why? There's not much to do tonight. Yeah, that's the thing about working the overnight shift. Sometimes, some days you got to do a lot of work. You got to go out and patrol, things like that. And there's some days where it's really not much to do, which today is one of those days. It's like 50 degrees. All the snow and ice is melted, so there's nothing for me to salt. There's no snowstorm coming, so there's nothing for me to plow. So yeah, so I went out, did a little bit of patrol, then I came back, and now I've decided to make a video for you. I try to do these videos once a week. This video is coming out a little late because I had a medical issue, so I was off the job for a while. And so I'll get into that in a moment, because on this video, what I want to talk about is something that I talked about in one of my other videos. So in my other videos, I talked about how when you have a CDLB and you get a job, you're going to be working for a company that has trucks, that owns trucks, right? Okay, so here's the thing. If your job has shift work, understand that even though you've been assigned the truck, other people may be driving that truck because it's not yours. You're not an owner operator. There are some people with CDLBs that become owner operators. They go out and they buy a dump truck or they buy a box truck or something, and they start a company or a business, and they become an owner operator with whatever their CDLB license, right? So, but when you work for a company and they have trucks, they're assigning you a truck. You don't own the truck. It's the company's truck and they assign it to you. So therefore, anybody could be driving your truck. Well, one of the things about working for PennDOT is we have a lot of big people here. Big people. We got some guys over 300 pounds, some guys pushing close to 400 pounds. And so what happens is that some of these trucks are old. And when you have a 300-pound guy sitting in an old truck, what happens is they kill the seats. They kill them. The truck that I've been assigned I think it's a 2004 Mack dump truck, 8-speed manual. And this seat is dead. The chair is dead. It's done in this truck. There's no cushion in this truck whatsoever. The back of the seat broke one night when I was trying to dump salt out of the body. So in order to dump salt out of the body, make sure you get all the salt out. You put the bed all the way up in the air, and then you might have to like drive forward a little bit, hit the brakes to kind of like give it like a shake to shake the salt to come out. Well, I went to go do that, and the back of the seat, I heard this pop sound, and the back of the seat went back like this, right? And I'm like, Jesus, and it wouldn't come back for a while. So I kept hitting the switch, it wouldn't come back. And then finally I hit the switch again, and it went up. But the problem is that it didn't stop. It just kept pushing me towards the steering wheel. So every time I would get out of the truck, the back of the seat would fold in like that. No matter how much I put it up, it would fold back down. So, and I talked to one of the guys here about that, and he said, yeah, you got a lot of big guys. They get inside this truck, they come in, they slam their backs into the back there, instead of trying to reach over to adjust it, they just kind of slam their backs into it to get it where they want it to be. And you just happen to be driving it when it finally gave out. Yeah. So the back of the seat was broke. The seat itself has no more cushion in it whatsoever. There's no air ride in there. So, I mean, you hit a bump and you're just slamming up and down. You're bouncing like a basketball. And so I ended up with what they call Jeep disease. Now, from what I was told by a doctor, Jeep disease is this thing that it came from like World War II or something like that, where soldiers would be riding inside of Jeeps. The Jeeps didn't have much cushion in them, so they hit bumps, they bounce up and down, and they end up getting swelling on their coccyx or something like that. And sometimes that swelling would turn into a cyst or something like that. So I had swelling on my coccyx. So I had to be out of work for a while. Now I'm healed up. I'm mostly healed up, but I need to get back out there, and got to earn the check and everything. So I'm back out there. So, but yeah, I had something called Jeep disease because there's no cushion. These trucks, they have no cushion in there. Me being new to trucking and all that, my body was not used to this type of abuse that it takes when you're riding in one of these dump trucks, because people understand it's not like driving your car. There's not a suspension in it. You got your leaf springs, so it's not really a suspension in a truck. And so you hit a bump in a dump truck, and if your seat if your seat isn't right, you know what I mean, if your seat is not working properly, if it's dead from so many huge people just killing the cushion and everything else that goes on with your seat, you are going to feel every single bump that you hit in a dump truck. And yeah, and I mean, there's times where I was out riding and I mean, I hit a bump and I'm bouncing like a basketball. And it's not, one of those things where it's like, you bounce and you stop. No, I'm bouncing and then hitting the floor and then coming back up because it's just whatever springs or whatever it is inside the chair, it's done. It's dead. Like I can hit the button and the seat will raise up. But once you hit a bump, that seat comes all the way back down and it hits the floor. And it gets painful. It gets bad. It gets painful. These trucks are old. A lot of times what happens with PennDOT is they do what we call Band-Aid fixes. So, they fix it just enough to get it back on the road, to get it operating, so it's able to do whatever job you need it for, but it's not a permanent fix. So what happened with the back of the chair, if it folding forward is a mechanic, basically he took like a screw and like he drilled into like, I guess like the gear or whatever. So that way the seat would stay in place. So basically he's like, put the seat in whatever position you want it in. So I put it, up, and then he just kind of like drilled into it. And now the seat doesn't fold forward anymore. So I don't have to deal with that because every time I would get out of the truck, the seat would like fold forward. And then and whenever I wanted to get back in the truck, I would have to push the seat back, hop in, and then kind of like let the seat hit my back. And that's the way I would drive. I would drive with no back, no seat back, no sturdy seat back. So, but yeah, that's what happened to me, sitting in the truck, hours on end, because the thing about the overnight shift is that there's a lot of sitting. Some nights, you're just sitting in a truck. You might not even be going anywhere, but you're just sitting in a truck. A lot of these jobs with PennDOT, sometimes you're just sitting there. Either you're have an arrow board on the back, or you had to run and grab a gravel, stone, blacktop, or something like that, and you're just waiting for your turn in the line to, dump your load, and then you might have to go and, grab another load or something like that. So there are times where, like, yeah, you might be sitting, all day long or sitting for a couple of hours. So basically now my routine is to get out of the truck. I might walk around the truck a few times. I'll walk around my yard a few times, just to get out of the truck, just to stay active. Because like I said, I mean, I see guys here and they're like I said, 300 pounds, pushing close to 400. Everybody's got a belly. I'm starting to get a belly. And yeah, I don't want to be like that. I mean, listen, call me fatphobic. Yeah, I'm afraid of being overweight. So yeah, I guess I'm fatphobic because I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be overweight. I mean, I've gained weight working here. I've gained a lot of weight working here because, you're sitting a lot. Your diet is horrible because sometimes you're out there on the road. So it's not like you got a microwave or anything like that. And so you might make a run to like 7-Eleven or something, and grab some junk food, and then you're right back to sitting in the truck for a while. So, so now, with this latest medical issue that I've had, I've pretty much decided to make it a point of trying to, be a little more healthier, be a little more active, getting out of the truck more, doing a lot more walking. In the summertime, one of the things I would do is I would always, try to look for work instead of like, being very sedentary. Because you got some guys who show up and they don't want to do anything. They want, a free day. They don't want to do any work really. Me, I made it a point of, grabbing the shovel, shoveling some gravel, or, moving some blacktop, raking a blacktop, the stuff that, paving roads and things like that. I made it a point to try to be active. In the wintertime on this shift, I'm not as active. So I've been noticing that I've been having a bit of a weight gain going on. So yeah, so I'm just going to try to make it a point to drop the weight, get back in shape, be a little healthier. I'm not going to go full on vegan. I'm not doing the whole, vegan and, special smoothie diets and all that. No, I'm just going to be more active to try to lose the weight and be more active and eat less junk. That's it. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to eat cardboard. sorry. I'm not going to do that. So that's my keys rattling around my pouch here. Sorry about that. But yeah, but we got guys here who are just big. They're just big. It's the one guy I heard a few stories about. I'm not even sure if he's still here. It might still be here. But yeah, he was so big that the foreman was afraid to give this guy work to do because he was afraid this guy was going to pass out. So, and I heard a story about one time he was walking around his dump truck and, he did a walk around, got to the other side, and he was bent over, breathing heavy because that was too much walking for him. I hear other stories where he doesn't get out of the truck because, he can't keep climbing in and out of the truck. That puts him out of breath and his ankles swell up. He can't stand for long periods of time. And so the foreman's afraid that, he might pass out or die on the job. So the foreman just lets him sit in the truck, which I think that is so unfair. Everybody else is busting their hump, getting the job done. And because this guy, decided he didn't want to be active, he wanted to gain a bunch of weight. So basically he's getting less work to do. So there's a bit of enabling going on there. And I think it's just unfair. I think it's unfair to the rest of the crew. Here at PennDOT, we all, work as a team. We all try to make sure, each of us are safe. We all go home at the end of the day. We all work as a team to get a job done. And so it is kind of unfair when you have one guy who is getting this special treatment, and it's not as if, he got injured on the job, or he has this legit medical issue. He's fat. That's what it is. He's overweight. He's fat. And nobody told him to, eat so much. Nobody told him to not be as active. These are personal choices that he made. And the other guys in the crew are paying for his personal choices because now they're a man down on different projects that they're working on because this guy can't do the work that they're all doing. So, yeah, call it fatphobic. That if that's what it is, and then that's what I am. Because I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be that size. I don't want to be overweight like that. I don't want to, walk a few feet and then have to, catch my breath and all that. I don't want to do that. I want to be active. I want to be, I'm not young. I'm not as young as I used to be, but I want my body to still be able to move and function right. So, when you're overweight, that just comes with a lot of other health issues, not just the strain on your heart, but the strain on your joints and your muscles and things like that. And yeah, and I just don't want to go through that. I don't. I'm sorry. So yeah, fatphobic, sure. I'm afraid to be overweight. And I accept that. I fully 100% accept that. But as far as the trucks are concerned, like I said, these trucks are old. The seats are shot from years of, big guys just, coming in and plopping into the seats. And yeah, so, PennDOT has to do some work on getting some new trucks or getting some new parts, really fixing these trucks up. Even sometimes when you're shifting, because I drive an 8-speed manual. And so sometimes even when you're shifting the gears, you can hear this grinding. It's hard to shift. And that's from years of guys just slamming it. Just slamming that shifter in the gear. Some guys try to show off and like, oh yeah, I don't have to use a clutch, and you hear it all grinding and stuff like that. And and I did that. I did that when I first learned how to drive manual. I think everybody does that when they first learn how to drive manual. You're slamming it in there. You're thinking that you're in Fast and the Furious or something. You don't want to be a granny shifter, But after a while, you start learning that it just takes a little motion. As long as you hit that clutch right, you got the right RPMs, just a little motion. It's not really anything like that. But you can tell these trucks are old, and you can tell that, over time, they're worn. They are very worn out, from the seats to the shifters, even the turn signals, the buttons are all worn out. These trucks are just so worn out. And and I'm really starting to have a problem with it, because I didn't really have a problem with them being worn out before. But now that they're causing health issues, the truck being worn out and is causing health issues, now I'm really starting to have a problem with these trucks here. But I'm sticking with PennDOT. I'm sticking with them, you know, trying to make the best of it. And I'll keep making these videos for you guys. So I got no subscribers right now. No subscribers, but I'm hoping to get one. Give me one. Give me one subscriber, all right? I will entertain that one subscriber. Whoever that one subscriber is, I will make a video specifically for you. I will say your name, and you'll just be my one subscriber. I'll take it. But till next time, like, watch, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video.